A couple of questions on the stuff we've been doing here. MoveNat, moving outside, alternate training, I guess you could say.
Beer and cheesecake?
That's on the third level. Why should runners consider MoveNat type training instead of just focusing all their energy on the specialized training, being running and then various variations of running? Why would we be crawling on the ground like we are here instead of just putting in more miles?
Yeah, well, we do that to make our bodies stronger all over, and there's good evidence that athletes like, say, a runner who cross trains, does some cycling or some swimming, becomes better at their event.
That's triathlon though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Well, let's say rowing and equestrian.
That's better.
Thank you. Then they're going to be a better runner because their body is able to adapt to something more stressful. I was reading something interesting on the Facebook. Heard of it?
No.
Kind of sucks away your life and your time.
Oh, I heard of it.
But every now and then you learn something. And I was actually reading a thing about a guy. He says, do something that you fail at, that you're not good at, because that's going to make your body stronger. And then do it till you no longer fail at it. And it'll make you better all around. There's good evidence that you'll burn more fat. You'll just become healthier overall. You become more lean, and you'll be faster, stronger, more efficient athlete. I think that's a great thing to do. Because what happens as runners, well, everybody can sort of run, even though they might not look good. They might not look efficient, but they can run.
They can move.
They can move, and they don't realize that they should be moving better. And when you do some of these other movements like we're doing, like crawling and climbing, if you're not doing it correctly, you can't do it. So you can spot your inefficiencies easier. The other thing is when you do different motions, like say our climbing that we're doing, when we're hanging from bars and we're using our shoulders and all these intricate motions, that's going to help our gait. Your shoulder and your hip move in harmony with one another. My right shoulder goes forward when my left hip goes forward, and vice versa. I have a great gait mechanic, gait pattern. A great gait pattern.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever, you know what I mean. And my mechanics are very smooth. Where a lot of runners are locked, we've seen that in some of the people this week. A lot of runners are locked up in their upper body because, how many times a day can you, or do you not have to? Let me say it this way: do you have to raise your arms above your head during the day? No, unless you're climbing or swimming, or maybe reaching something far over your head, or you had a really big mohawk, then
Like
you
most
probably
people do.
don't have to reach far over your head. So you can get by with just not moving your shoulder or your hand above your head and your shoulder above parallel, which is pretty sad if you think about it. So you lose all this shoulder motion that we're redeveloping by doing a lot of these motions, including running, and it's going to help our whole body perform better and prevent injuries.
Sweet.
And that makes us a better person.
Two?
It does. People will like you more.
We'll see about that.
Not you, but
The second part of this question is, how do you, as a runner or as an athlete, implement this kind of training into your daily regime? So what's the
Sure.
ratio? If I'm a runner, I like to run every day.
Yep.
Should I do alternate training every day, or a block here and there, or how do I mix and match?
So that's going to depend on a couple factors. One would be what are you looking to achieve? In other words, if you're just looking for general health, then I would say you might want to put that closer to 50-50, because the thing is, running is a natural movement. So it's not like we're cyclists and we're saying, well, natural movement, cycling is not a natural movement. Swimming is, not that, but so we're already doing a natural movement. So we can implement these very easily into our running. We can do, some different type of running motions, or we can do some groundwork that's going to improve our running and build our cardiovascular system too at the same time, even though it's not the exact running mechanics. So you can maybe cut that 50-50 depending on if you just want to be generally healthy. If you're training for an event, say a marathon or something like that, then obviously you want to pare that back. You might want to do less of the MoveNat stuff, the natural movements, and more of your running because you're preparing for that race. Depends how specialized you want to be. But also, you have to realize within the MoveNat, so running is just running, right? But when you come to natural movement, you've got lifting and carrying, you've got throwing and catching, we've got climbing, we've got crawling, we've got walking extra drills, we've got balance. So you can implement these anytime in your training because if you train hard, say running one day, well, the next day, or even later that day, you could do some balance. And now you're actually implementing natural movement in with that balance. And maybe you don't want to do lifting and carrying something heavy on a day where you're running hard, but you could do some really easy crawling motions. So we have such great intensities of the natural movements and great complexities that they can really be used, first of all, for everybody. They're scalable. And second of all, you can always implement them into your training schedule, no matter what time of year it is, what you're training for, or what you're doing. You can always find a time and a place for them in your lifestyle.
Yeah. So how would you go about learning some of this, apart from attending a workshop or something along those lines? Is video material sufficient? Because what we see for runners is that they watch running videos all the time, and they go out, try to implement it, and they suck at it because they have no body control.
Well, I think it gives you some people. I guess one part is I guess it depends how good of a visual person you are. You know, some people can obviously pick things up easier than others. I see people do like yoga and kettlebell videos in my office, and then I have them show me something. I'm like, woo, that's not good. You know, and you really do need a good instructor, such as your team. I know. Ding ding. So yeah, I mean, a lot of times you just want to find someone who can do that, and you know, there's a lot of MoveNet trainers now. There's some great videos done on MoveNet online on MoveNet's site. You can maybe put a little plug on that on
We
your
shall
web.
put a link somewhere.
link
here.
somewhere.
Is that what people usually say?
Yep. So you can. So those videos are great, but even better is to find a coach in your community, wherever you live, and start to have someone spot your inefficiencies. Because a lot of times, as we learned this weekend, you can't see your own inefficiencies.
No.
If you're crawling, your butt might be way up like this, and you don't know it unless someone comes down and. What did we do? Did we beat them this
we
week
beat
on
them with
the lower back?
Sticks.
Yeah, and once your back is bruised and beaten from what we've
You
done.
you need a partner and a stick.
Yeah, we really don't do that. We use metal rods.